What's up, everybody? This is the poker coaching study session. Today, we're going to be looking at
Playing 200 big blinds deep. Oh boy. So we got to play defensively, and we do not get it all in with two pair lightly. Let's see what happens. I'll go first. So I've got ace king on the button. I flatted it, which you do at 200 big blinds deep. Ace king does a lot of flatting on the button to a low jack raise. Surprising amount to me. Um, and so with this hand, he checks to us. This seems like a good bet. I think we can bet small here happily. Let's bet 2.15. No, let's bet big.
Yeah, I
Let's
I I
polarize.
think that we're going to find this heuristic a little bit where our smaller bets get bigger.
Okay,
I think.
Especially in
That'll be-
position. I bet that's more. My prediction, and I'm not sure, is that we're going to see a more aggressive betting structure when you're in position because your positional advantage is greater, your equity realization advantage is greater in position.
but I
Uh,
like that we're mostly betting on this hand. I like the mostly betting. Let's change the move so we're just not. Give me the 19, even though it's not the best one. It's the closest one.
19.
No, the 3.25. Give me the 50 because that one is that. I mean, give me the 19% answer because it's the closest thing to what I was doing. All right, he folded to that too. Hey, folded sixes. Yay! All right, Larry, you're up.
All right. So we're going to switch positions here now. We're going to defend big blind. All of these should be SRPs. We're going to check. Just going to check back. I don't think we're very interested in turning our sevens into a bluff.
No,
The gutter on a. I think so. Against this side, I don't think we're going to have many check raises.
Hello, guys.
hey,
Excuse me for interrupting, but can I just tell you a little thing? Could I simply join by only listening to you this time? Because
Sure.
I'm playing some games. Thank you very much.
Okay, Dan.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
Yeah, so we're pretty tight there. This seems pretty tight to me.
Yep.
It's close, but
Hmm.
we sometimes get there with the ass end. And
Oh.
maybe it's because it's the ass end we're drawn
Yeah.
to. Let's see what sides we use.
Jack. I don't think you're raising if he bets into you.
No, I don't think so.
All right, Mike.
All right, Mike. Two bigs.
Okay.
Nice hand.
Mike.
We raised. They call. Ooh, we flop top set. With a queen 5-4, no spade. So this would probably be checked or bet big frequently at 100 bigs. Thinking 200. This is probably a decent one to oh, I didn't know we had a timer there. Let's go.
All right.
I'm gonna go B50. I think
Yeah.
it should be a B50, B75.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see because our SPR is so much greater now. How does that affect top of range? I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, and we're sure. Well,
It's just
first
check.
thing is that we're range checking this board.
That is okay.
Um,
Oh, that's nice. It does at least give us that, Larry.
yeah,
Do
this is a little bit.
yeah, it'd be interesting to once we get done compare it to 100 bigs and see if our like have two different tabs with
Yeah.
study the spot in two different tabs and see if there's much of a difference.
Yeah,
You don't
well,
have to do it now,
No, we
but
can do it.
Well, now you got my
Yeah.
head wrapped around it, so I'm gonna do it. Studying. Change. 100, general.
I was going to say if you were on the actual problem that the same tab and then did a right click. Oh, yeah, but I'm not sure if there's a, there we go.
So what's our position? UTG versus button, UTG raise. Button call.
Queen 5-4. queen of spades, five of spades, four of hearts.
And just as a quick little thing, Larry, right click on the study this spot button on the original tab and see if it gives you the option to open in like a new, can you right click on it?
So sad face. Because I don't have the fancy membership, it will allow me to work in trainer, but it won't allow me to, look at solves for 200
Gotcha.
bigs.
Yeah.
And actually, to be honest with you guys, we might run into a brick wall at 10 hands.
If we do,
So
we'll-
this might be a very quick session at 200 bigs.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's gonna let me go on. So to answer your question. Pure check here. I'm pretty much, and we do have some betting. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think generally we're just gonna be more conservative. At this stack depth out of position in SRP.
Yeah.
So let's just change this into, and I mean, this has gotta be like,
Or something that
what's strategy?
Scotty, can I ask you something?
92%. Yeah, we're just checking range surprisingly.
Yeah.
Okay, we check. Now, this is what I find interesting.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how conservative are we? Are we gonna have check raises here? I don't know.
God, I mean, I would imagine we do. If you're checking range, you're gonna have check raises.
Yeah.
And I mean, in this spot, I would absolutely check raise.
mm-hmm,
And the sizing, I suppose it's gotta be to the larger size, so B100.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we're motivated to, if this SPR at bigger sizing.
No.
Well, let-
yeah, I
so-
think yeah, we're really trying to keep them in. And we probably check raise the 5 and the 4 more often into the bigger size. We're just,
Yeah, I wonder about that. I also wonder how much it's reverse implied odds, honestly.
no,
Like,
because
this
look at the
card range
fives.
is largely gonna be composed of, it's gonna have a lot of FDs in it. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, the fives check raise all the time and they do it to the same size. It just doesn't love the big size,
Yeah,
but he called good.
And then we did check raise, and then we got a really bad card, so to speak. Because some of his draws do get here now.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm going to check this card.
So betting.
Yeah, we are so conservative.
And he goes over bet.
Oh, bets.
Now do we start? I mean, now we just, oh gosh, this is, this is so crazy. I don't know if we get to raise this size. I would imagine we do, but not with this board now. I'm just gonna call. And there's still, yeah, we still raise
We
a ton.
jam. We should just jam on him. Oh, you
So I
think,
was right.
let's find out.
Well,
Oh,
that's a
okay,
nice
well, there's a
card.
nice little gin card for us.
That's so good.
What do you
Now,
think?
the question is, do we check? Or do
Yeah,
we dunk? This is so weird. Our
Yeah.
stack to pot ratios are around 1.5 to 1-ish.
Mhm.
I think since we check again.
yeah, this is so hard, this one.
No, we
You bet.
I got
Yeah.
every move wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's really different if the stack depth.
Bro, for me, the solver made no fucking sense.
Look at that.
Just folded the
Folded it
straight
straight.
to a tiny bet.
Yeah, he was scared of the flush.
Scared of the flush and the full house both.
Yeah, it was scared. Sorry, guys. See,
Yeah, but how big was our bet even?
It was the
was-
question for
B33,
you.
right?
B33.
30, yeah.
Scotty, my question for you
B35,
here.
B35.
Yeah,
From the flop, we see the flop, right?
Yeah.
We have two spades and we hit a set. Why was it the best idea to check that and not bet it? Because it's like losing equity if, let's say he had spades.
right. So it's part of the reason, Bogdan, is that it's not that that's the best thing for that hand. is that it's part of an overall strategy that says that the best way to play on this board in this situation is check range and proceed from there. So there are individual hands that might benefit from a little betting there, but
Mhm.
if you bet them and nothing else, then because remember the solver has to be balanced, then you're out of balance. And the things that it has to do to balance that range aren't worth it.
Makes sense, yeah.
So if you were playing
Okay.
against a guy one hand, one time, you wouldn't necessarily play this way.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scotty. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Thanks.
Oh, that's it.
All right.
Changing the
Hey,
project.
Mike, do you want to set this one up on yours?
Yeah, I can. I'm actually not able to right now. It'd take me about
Okay.
10 minutes to get to where I need to be to do
Okay.
it.
Gotcha.
Well, I have a backup plan
Alright.
here.
Okay, do the
so-
backup plan.
We're now going to work on a very specific spot at 100 bigs.
Okay,
So in this spot, it's an SRP. We check on flop, out of position, UTG.
mhm,
Button bet small, we check raise. They call.
and we're
Uh,
facing the turn.
and we get the turn and how do we play?
All right.
We've done this before, but
alright.
it's very, I would like to integrate more check raising into my game, and so this is, I think, will help us.
All right, Bogdan, good luck. You're screwed.
Thank you, bro. I know. I was aware
So
of that.
Bogdan, do you understand what we're doing here? Do you understand
A
the
part of it,
action?
yeah, I did. I did a part of it.
Okay,
I'm bad with shortcuts and abbreviations in poker, guys. So SPR. Want to ask you what does it mean?
it means stack to pot ratio. It's a ratio of the size of the pot relative to your stack. This one, so, it's not an exact science. It just gives us a little bit. This one is like 4.2 or something.
Close to it, yes.
And so, strategically, it's important to understand what your stack to pot ratio is. It affects your check raising size and your bet size and whether you're pot committed.
Right.
And whether you make yourself pot committed by accident, because you didn't look ahead and see it.
Well, yeah, good point. That's one of the
Yeah.
reasons we study it.
Yeah.
This is 4.2 actually, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's one of the reasons to understand it. You need to understand.
Hmm.
And it
Thank you,
also
guys.
allows you, once you begin thinking about SPR, you begin thinking about what the SPR will be on the next street if your bet size is called, and that's very important. So that is what SPR is.
Thank
So
you.
this is your hand if you'd like to take it. You have,
Yes, I will.
so
would.
again, so you understand the action, right?
All right, I do.
Okay,
Thing
so now
is,
it's,
my turn.
Yep.
Yeah.
and I would check this because I feel so small,
so we
against
check,
anything else. Yeah.
you checked back.
So okay.
What would you do now?
I'm losing aggressive, so I would bet something like 60%, 13. Try to
You can turn this
throw
into a
them
bluff.
off. Yeah.
I'm gonna check.
So in
yeah.
theory, you have marginal showdown, so it likes to. I
Shit.
assume you're gonna fold. Are you
Fold
gonna
it.
fold?
Yeah. Yeah, I will fold this. I was trying it didn't
Uh,
work. Okay.
So it likes to,
Did he have an ace? No, king. King jack, yeah. Much
just
bigger.
play.
And I
think
felt
he,
it.
I think he just turned his king into a bluff and
Yeah, he did.
he
Yeah.
had to bluff with the best hand.
Yeah, I think you're right. Alright, so who's next?
Thank you, guys.
No problem.
Yeah.
After Bogdan, it is A plus. Welcome back, A plus.
Alright, plus you check raised. So he bet small, we check raised to about 7.5. Turn comes and got an overpair kings. What would you like to do?
Well, the dynamic has been betting low, but the queen nine, I mean, with the 6% unconnected, why wouldn't this be an overbet board?
Let's do it.
Sure. That might be, let me see, so your SPR is 4.5, 4.2? So when you put a bet in, yeah, so what, 27 plus 27, that works.
Nice.
It's like what, 54 plus, so you're gonna have a pot size, less than a pot size bet left. And I think I know what you're gonna do.
That shove.
Hell yeah.
Look at that, we're
No,
trapping.
or we're
Trapping.
worried about the jack, or we're worried about 10 jack, one of the two.
But
No, I
it's the
don't
same
think we're
EV.
worried about 10 jack after the overbet,
All right.
unless it's 10 jack of diamonds specifically.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, um,
So you did
think
that
this
and
is
I
a
feel good
trap.
about it. But let's go back and change the move and get screwed and see what happens.
So A plus, your move was fine. It's actually worth the same amount of chips, but
Yeah.
let's just see what happens. He must do that a lot with his range when we make this play, so that's why.
Woof.
Set over set him.
Not till the river. We were, oh,
We're in trouble. I know we are 2 outers. So who's next?
I suck out. After 8+, it is Scotty.
Alright, Scotty. Okay.
All right. So I check
Taking
raise,
a
which by
pretty
the way,
gangster
I've
check
done.
raise.
Yeah, I wouldn't have check raised this. I would have check called because it's
So we're
second.
gonna get some hands that
Yeah.
seem. We're gonna give everybody the chance to pass if this seems like a ridiculous spot. Would you like to pass and see you next
No,
hand?
no, I want to play it out. I want to play it out when I make
Okay.
this mistake. I'm saying this is not my standard line, but I'm going to learn it. And he called my check raise, so I'm going to go back into check call mode. I'm going to check here. I'm going to follow
Okay,
my
I'm
check
gonna
raise.
check something. So there is a concern that it will take some very low frequency check raises
Yeah.
here. Let's just see how often it check raises this combo.
Yeah.
Here, we jack 10 suited. Yeah, we're gonna see every once in a while, we're gonna see very low frequency, but you
Yep.
know, if you want to be a really good poker player, this should be in your arsenal a very
Yep.
small amount of time. So this is fine.
Yep. Yeah. So,
All right,
so when
so
I got
what-
in that situation, I follow it up with a check.
Yeah, do a check. Ah, look at that. Wants to go for it.
No, stop giving up. All right. But I
You
can.
want to change? You want to? You want to overbet?
No, 8.6 is fine. I mean, it's okay. 8.6%. It's not an error.
Okay,
And he bet 16 at it. And at this point, I call.
we're gonna fold.
Okay.
We're gonna do both.
It's a mix. I'm treading water here.
We're like we've got one of those hands
Yeah.
that can do anything.
Yep. I'm calling it this time. I'm taking a screwed up line.
It's
Ha!
interesting.
All right. Now, this is so hard.
It is.
This is so hard. But I'm going to, because I don't have the flush and I have no reason represented, I'm gonna go in the check call mode. And I'm calling all in, but I'm calling is all in. I check. He checks behind, which of course he does.
He's
there-
got marginal shoulder.
he was gonna float. He was gonna fold anyway, if I bet. All right, fine.
All right, who's next?
That was an interesting hand. Next is Larry.
All right, so this is the hand we actually are supposed to. Now, this is where it gets interesting because a large component of his check raise call, of his bet check raise call is going to be composed of spades.
Mm-hmm.
Got the best spade. I think we're in a small better check.
Yep. I don't think you get big bets on the spade completing.
Yeah, small better checker most likely.
Yeah.
Likes to check more.
Yeah.
He raises, it sucks. So I think we call. So I think we're about 23%. Actually, I think it's 20% to vote up,
Mm-hmm.
I think. And so we're pretty close.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're at about 20%.
And that's the call we want to see. We're not going to don't. I don't think we don't. Mix.
You donk.
And he does not. Look at that. Ace nine must be such a large part of our check raise range
Yeah,
that he does not bet the nut flush.
yeah. If this happened in game, wouldn't you just look, just like want to kill yourself for not betting it? You know, for him checking back the nut flush with the blocker.
So we don't have queen nine, right? But we do
Yeah.
have ace nine. We do this with.
Skate's taking
I
a
mean,
fight.
the
I agree.
solver is so intimate in its opponent's game
Yeah,
that it knows that ace nine is a large component of its check raise weekly.
mm-hmm.
I think that's what's happening here.
All right, skate is up,
Skate,
Jack. Cause I didn't see these guys getting here, so.
skate, we did 200 big blind work, but we ran out. I don't have the fancy membership. I'm sorry you missed it. You have to arrive on time next time.
All right, see you next week then.
Ah, Always,
All right, so
always a pleasure.
all right, so I don't see any hands yet.
Oh, you can't see that? You, oh, you gotta hit the button. Yeah.
Okay, you've got ace nine and you check raised.
Ace nine and I check raised. Okay.
Well, you don't, look, you just got here, so this is the line, right? So we're playing an SRP, UTG versus button. We check. Out of position. They bet small here. Then we check raise. They call. And then we get the turn. So this is where we are.
Okay, this kind of reminds me of the last hand, except that we don't have. Last hand we had trips on the
Yeah, it
flop.
is very similar to last hand. I think, what would you like to do?
I believe since the flush is completing and we do not have a suit of that flush, we're gonna do a mixing of both betting and checking with mostly checking and some betting, but not too large.
Yeah, we're gonna check, I think. Yeah, we mostly check.
Yep, that was
We hate
perfect.
this card. We're not gonna fold to the size, I assume. Sorry, I'm stealing your hand.
No, you're right.
Yeah, we're not gonna fold to this, so. What would you like to know?
Now, well, there is a one liner to straight, but
One liner to straight, three with flush.
I think it's
He
gonna
does have
check.
ace eight, but you're blocking. There's only two versions of ace eight. He doesn't have that. What?
Yeah, I'm gonna
He
check.
has nine eight though.
Sure.
Okay, it's putting you to the test.
Check raise flop. Probably gonna fold. I don't know if it mixes, but probably not. Oh yeah.
He chose the right answer.
Yeah,
Which ace nine, do we call any ace nine more than others? No, we just mostly fold.
yeah.
Okay. What do you buff us with? Tens. So why?
Unbelievable.
So we don't have 10-8 suited. But he really likes blocking a flush. So he's doing, look, do you guys, the question I would have. Who thinks he does this without a spade? Who thinks he does it with only
No.
a spade?
No, he has to have a spade to do it.
He doesn't give a fuck. Oh, the only hands that get here.
Only
Is
got here with a spade.
okay.
You only
Next
call
hand.
check raise with a spade. Next hand is Tura.
Troy, you've,
Sorry, no,
Um,
next hand is Jack. Next hand is Jack Stoltman. So Jack, just unmute yourself.
Jack,
Good.
you understand? Hey, how you doing, Jack?
Hey, I'm good. How are you, Larry?
I'm good. I'm good. So we're playing a particular line here. Did you catch what we're up to here?
It's a single raise pot under the gun versus button, check raise flop.
Yeah,
Yep.
you got it. And now
Okay.
on turn, it took a pretty gangster check raise here with 6-5. And you get an innocuous 8. What would you like to do, sir?
I'm tempted to just check and give up, or triple barrel bluff. Those are like the only options at this point. I would check.
Yeah, I think it's a check mostly. Look at that.
I want the
Bottom of
triple barrel
range, it
bluff.
doesn't It
Go
does not.
gangster.
Well, let's take that line just so we
Okay,
can
okay.
practice it. So we do overbet. Let's say we overbet here. I would argue maybe we're doing this because this doesn't really complete anything, any withdrawals we should call with.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah.
Okay.
Ugh.
Now
Ugh.
some of these draws complete. Now this king 10 completes. But are you gonna
Yeah, so
suicide
it-
bluff it?
Yeah, I think it wants us to suicide bluff it. I
Yeah,
don't think you
yeah,
give up
exactly.
now.
Yep.
And snap call.
There
Ah,
it is.
By the nuts.
combo draw and the nuts. All right, Tura, we're skipping Tura. We did Scott and Larry, and so we're on Mike.
Mike, are you ready, sir?
Ready. Bring it, bring the heat here. Okay. Ooh, this, I like this for an overbet.
Yeah. So I think what's most interesting about this is that we're now playing against a filtered range. They call it check raise, right? It wasn't a big check raise. And so all of a sudden, when we're playing against a filtered range, of course, he's going to have king X in there and he's going to have some 9X and catch some draws. But I think the turn card becomes much more important as to what it completes, how it changes the texture. So this is obviously a brick, I think. So not entirely, I guess it brings in a backdoor. Let's overbet. Gives up. Wants to realize it's equity, but you're not breaking anything, so let's go for it.
Huh. Okay. Well, this seems decent enough for us. They called the overbet. And an ace of hearts would be something that they would maybe continue with an overbet on their draws, which they don't have. So I think we can continue to bluff here and jam.
Let's see.
We can make a king uncomfortable.
Now, I think we give up because I think we give up primarily because of our sizing on turn.
Take a look. I bet if we have the queen or the jack of hearts, maybe we get to do it. Maybe that's all we need.
I thought the ace of hearts, like, because that would be a card that he would hold when he
Yes.
called us.
Yes.
And so when the ace of hearts shows up, I'm thinking he doesn't have very many aces left as a pair either.
Yeah.
So the big thing is that when we get to this spot, right? I mean, our range is very, very condensed. I guess is the word.
Yeah.
He hardly has any combos that call this line. It's just like a very super condensed range. So you get here, you got the king jack. And we go for it with the hearts.
Oh, yeah, that's a flush. I mean, we go for it when we have it. But click on queen jack offsuit, which we never have, and you notice you can do this. You just have to have a heart. And you have to have a queen of hearts. And one jack of hearts. The jack of hearts with a spade. But the other ones don't do it, and we're gonna ignore why.
So the other question I had was, okay, so when we check raise, how much of his range in theory does he fold? So he's folding 40% of his range here. And then turn, when we choose the overbet, I think it's like 60% of his range. No. We do this, we overbet. Folds half his range. So he's super condensed at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, he just doesn't. I mean, so he does this. For instance, let's look at like. Oh, strong nuts. Was he really? Look at that. He's folding He's folding around this region, but not that sizing. I mean, they're not flush draw to sizing.
Yeah.
Alright. Who's next?
And then, hey, Larry,
Yeah.
on the what was it? The flop. Oh, I'm sorry, the turn. If the three, so that brought in a flush draw. What I'm trying to figure out is why it didn't like the overbet here. And
It
well, I
does
guess
have it.
there are overbets, just not our hand.
Yeah,
It does have it. So it has it with. So it's using it a lot with the sets. And then. It looks like it's using it a lot with second pair, which is kind of, I guess, blocking his sets.
And then the no made hand versions.
No mid hands or things like. Well, gutter, right?
with a heart, with the heart.
And with,
So-
yeah, good point,
So
with
the
the heart.
heart is the key. Okay.
Yeah.
King jack with a heart, it's common. Loves having the block.
So it just
It's
considers us over bluffing
overdraw.
there when we do it without the heart.
So,
And look at the combo draws it can do it with. Queen 10 of
Yeah.
hearts, queen jack of hearts,
the combo draws, it's really, yeah, it's pushing.
10 jack of hearts, I bet does it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's in there.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else on this one?
And if you can you, I'm sorry,
That's all right.
if you change the 3 to say a 10 or a 7, do the overbets just disappear completely?
Okay, so the turn is a 3 of hearts.
Yeah.
We're
We'll make
overbetting 13% of the time.
Yeah.
Make it like a 7
Of hearts, still keep the heart in.
hearts.
Yeah, but it brings
Yeah.
in the straight, they complete, and the
Yeah, I see your
overbets
point. Yeah, I'd go away.
go away.
Okay, yep.
Alright.
Cause I would assume he's calling 10 jack pure,
Yeah,
Mhm.
so. Okay, who's next?
Bogdan.
Bogdan, are you ready, sir?
Yes, I am. I'm ready. Wow. On what? Shit.
More than nuts.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Alright, so you check
Okay.
raised here with your flush
King,
draw,
nice
and
suit.
now you've
Yeah.
got a marginal hand.
Yeah, we do. Given the way I've seen it, I'm a bit confused between betting and checking. Like bet 50% of the flop because of the pot, sorry, because we hit our 9 and we have a pair now. So I'm a bit courageous, or checking and wait for another spade
Yeah,
and
well,
see how they're reacting, you know?
one way to
I'm a
look at
bit-
this also
yeah.
is you have a showdown hand, even though he is quite filtered because he called you check raise. You have marginal showdown. Cause you have a pair.
Yeah, I know,
But-
I know. And that.
So I think, well, it's up to you, whatever you want to do with your hand.
Let's check it, see what's happening.
Yeah, I think we probably check when this 9 comes. Well, we still
Mm.
go for it. It
Yeah,
mixes.
I still have
yeah.
some bets, but even bigger than I believed, you know? I was thinking about the 10.8, the 50%, because it would be like enough. But I see
Yeah.
it's choosing higher rates, higher sizes.
So let's
Nice.
check.
We
and
check it,
it's- what
Call
would you like
it.
to do now?
call it.
Look at that.
Mhm.
Pair
Double
plus
the
draw.
jam.
raise.
Even jam. I wouldn't expect that.
Old
but yeah.
school, pair plus draw.
Wow. But no folding, let's make that clear.
Yeah, no folding.
Okay, you unfortunately
hit
did not
it-
get there.
Yeah, we don't hit the spade.
When 10 gets there, so,
Now I'll jam it. I'll go in. I'll turn
Okay.
it into a bluff and that's it.
Wow.
It likes
yeah,
to
we're
check.
just
Okay.
gonna, we're just gonna check when we take this line.
Let's see. Check,
And he
shove.
folded.
I know I'm folding because I don't want to do that. Right?
and-
Oh my fucking god, it calls.
Yeah.
Yo, GTO is like the third pair on the flop. And it's only one.
Yeah.
What are you calling me?
Well, yeah,
And he has sets. from the fucking flop.
Yes.
I mean, this is like, I think maybe the one thing I'm focusing on today is, you know, after we check raise. And. After we check
I
raise,
think
he's got a very filtered range.
Yeah.
Essentially, is the way. He is void of trash. He's got either a high equity draw or a mid hand.
Guys, I thought we are fighting against a queen, to be honest with you. I thought it's gonna have like queen of hearts and a jack of hearts, something like that, you know? Or a queen,
Yeah.
queen 10, stuff like that. I was expecting stuff with some high cards, but also something powerful, like I said, yeah. Thank you,
Okay,
guys.
let's see how often we do this. I think we take this check raise line. Very low
And what
frequency.
that up, I think Bogdan made the non-GTO and correct call on the river. I think against our population, that river fold is much better than that river call. The GTO does 100%.
I agree. We're gonna skip this one. We don't usually have this hand and
Well, king.
it's dumb. Okay, it's just this hand does make sense.
Okay, but the person who
Thank you,
got
Scotty.
is yeah, I think that's the right play on the river. And I think learning to call the 9 there is a mistake. Okay,
Yeah, I agree.
A+. You get pocket kings again. You are living right.
This is the same setup. He's called, you got the 3 and you got, I'm overbetting here too.
Yeah, I think you overbet. Oh, you know what? I don't know. I don't know these lines very well. I can tell
like-
that's probably in there. Interesting. I don't know. Why would we check? I guess we check because
Check him back here. He blocked the queen.
he called our bet. Are we blocking both flush draws? Blocking one backdoor.
Yeah.
What's our equity here? So this is pretty high, right? I mean, it's not like in the 80s. But 67 is pretty high. And we're mixing.
Suit-wise, you wanted to bet, and it likes to bet.
It's just this card does not seem like an equity shifting card. Like, I
No.
don't see this card helping imposition's range that much, but it likes to check. It likes to protect his checking range. Anyway, you're not breaking anything, so let's do it. And he folds. It could be that just he overfolds to that size and you don't want him to overfold.
Yep. And in game, he doesn't overfold that.
And in the game, yeah, no,
He calls
it's
that.
very hard to find someone who's gonna.
Is that a low frequency fold there? Like it mixes, but it's like maybe something like 90-10 or something. Like he just.
You hit ace queen off.
He's cleaning up. No, he's pretty much folding.
Indifferent as fuck. It wants to unblock the, no. Maybe it wants to unblock the ace of hearts. It doesn't care about the queen of hearts.
If you have the ace of hearts, then your opponent is not on a flush draw. This is the simplified one. And if he's not on a flush draw, he has pocket kings.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
it continues on. And
Alright, who's next?
all right, after Bogdan, Tura has an opportunity unless he wants us to skip him again. So if Tura jumps up, it's him. If not, we're skipping Tura and moving on to Skate.
Let's go.
Dr. Guy, good luck.
Tura's in, welcome back.
Alright, this is, if you find this game, I don't wanna play with you, because this is pretty dense.
Yeah.
Alright, how often do you guys think we're making this play? My guess is 5% of the
15%.
time.
15.
What's the texture of the board? It's
Like
really good
globally
board
15
for
or
us.
exactly 3-3.
And this is a board I think we bet often, right? So like, I think we bet this hand. We bet this board in this configuration, yeah, we bet it often. So it kind of makes sense that if we're gonna bet a texture out of position often, we're also gonna have a robust check raising range. So then, but we check, He bets. How can I make this play with threes? We make it. We make it half the time. This is like the folder check raise combos.
Yeah.
Same with two, same with these
15%
under
call.
pairs.
I'm never gonna call.
Yeah. And we call sometimes, but mostly we check raise are. So we're making this play. Let's go with it. So you made this play. He called. What would you like to do?
Give up and check.
Okay. You nailed it. Now, my question would be, if this is not two of spades, would we also give up? Or is it two of the doogie? What's the doogie? The doogie of 12. So, UTG, we are giving up here. What if this is the two clubs? Now we're still giving up. We're betting a little bit more. Yeah, we're giving up. Okay, we give up.
Give up.
The plot thickens. What would you like to do?
Now I want to go. Pot and a half.
E150. It's in there. But mostly block. Likes to block. And you pulled it out. Top pair, sir. Well played. Who's next?
Up next after Tura is Skate.
Let me just look at this real quick. Now we turn after check, we'll turn these under pairs into blocks. Okay, are you ready? You have aces. That's a bit of a check with it.
Okay, I'll do this last one before I have to go in. Aces, same line, we check raise flop, okay. I think it's gonna do mostly betting. Let's get value from a 10, hopefully that they have. Let's go like bets 16, 75% maybe.
Yeah, so you might be thinking geometric here, so, but it doesn't really have geometric, but yeah, I mean, this is a really good card, I think, for your aces here. So you wanted to go 50, right?
No, he wanted to go 16.
Wait,
75. He wants to
Yeah.
go 75.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, this is good.
I
This
don't
is
know. He doesn't have any fives. What fives would he possess? Zero, except maybe, no,
Yeah, I don't see pretty much any fives.
maybe
That they-
just pocket fives.
They would have called the flop, or I mean pocket fives. I think they fold the turn. I know.
Maybe. Well, I don't know if they fold the turn. I don't know if he has pocket fives. We'll find out.
All right. All right. Since we kind of were the aggressor, I believe in betting. Let's go with. Actually, you know, I kind of like Mike's check. You know, let's go with check. Why not? No check. Fuck.
I think you're pretty close because it wants to use a
Damn,
blocker
Mike.
sizing. By
Blocker, right?
calling. That's
Yeah.
quite a
Okay.
gangster call on turn. What was it? Our size was E75.
that's crazy.
Right.
I wanted to, by the way, the blocker bet, I think I wanted to use a blocker bet differently than this, maybe for a different reason than solver, but I was thinking block there because if our hand is good enough that if we checked and he jammed, we were gonna call.
No, I think we can assume that.
Yeah,
I'm
if we were,
curious if we could, go ahead, sorry.
I was thinking, if we were gonna do that, he might see this. Now, this is not against a solver. This is against a real opponent. A real opponent might look at us and if we go check, go, you know, he's not often checking a 5, but he could. But when we block bet, we're never block betting a 5. So that might give him license to bluff. And since we were willing to call the check version of it, I think the 5, I think betting really small in our real world gets them to fold gets them to jam more often than the check does. And it gets value from some hands that weren't going to bluff.
Yeah.
So
So he does have, when we use a small sizing, he does have what we will call robust shoving range.
yeah,
And
yeah.
He's got
9-10.
lots of bluffs.
Yeah,
He's even turning his tens into a bluff now.
yeah.
I mean, this 10 shove is not value shoving. This is a bluff.
No.
And also we can tell where it is in equity. At this point, it thinks it's 10x. It's got 8%
And it
equity.
blocks the 8-9. That's why he can do it.
Yeah, good point. It's blocking 8-9. I don't know. Yeah, I guess we have check raising.
Yeah, if you go down to those lower ones, I bet, the ones that are even lower than that, they're gonna have some sort of
These
Oh,
four.
block. It does not have a block in it. It's just insanity. Okay.
Yeah. Bet. So when he shoves, what are our overpairs doing? We are indifferent.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, I'm gonna put the coin.
By skate.
See, yeah, we are entirely different. So, all right, who's next?
Jack is next.
Dr. Stoltman, you have top pair, good kicker. And I'm gonna give you another one because we're not supposed to check raise this much, as we
Okay.
see from the warning up here. This one we check raise.
Oh,
would you
I like
do?
that. I would continue for 75%.
I'm
Yeah.
going 125.
So this is common. So when we have this much equity, we've got lots of choices, right? We've got 90% equity, probably maybe 8% yield. And so what we see is that when we have so much equity available to us, 88%, we get to do lots of stuff. We have a myriad of options, including your P75. Okay, kind of a dream run out.
I'm not sure if we're supposed to jam after going 75% on the turn, but I'll try jam. Oh, jam.
I'm all for the jam. I love the
Yeah, I
jam.
think you're probably in there. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Any heroes with top
Oh,
two.
wow.
Up two. That's a good day. Richie.
You're buying a lot of nice ciphers with that pot there.
Sorry, skip me.
Okay, we're skipping Richie. In that case, we're back up to the top and we're gonna switch to Mike's got a 200 big blind exercise for us.
Yeah, I'm
So-
gonna have Larry just double check my settings.
Okay.
Sure, do you want, I'll stop sharing. Stop sharing, where's the stop sharing? Okay.
So Larry, let's make sure this is right.
Okay, so you might want to turn off RNG, right? Because the RNG, if you want to start at the top, that's fine. All right, we're doing 200 bigs, flop, SRP, hero, UTG, and button. TTS and big
No,
blind.
do hero, undergun, button, and big blind. We're gonna play as all three of those. And our opponent is gonna be under the gun, button, or small, big blind.
So I think then, so you make hero relative position any, so we play out of position, any position. And I think we alternate positions, because I think.
Yeah.
And then if you go to modes. Well, let's go back to the last screen, because do you want to play an SRP or a 3-bet pot?
SRPs is fine.
Alright, then we need to go back to game. And then. Okay, it looks good. Sorry, I was getting confused. So let's go back to display.
One question though, don't we want the GTO opponent to be in any position?
Um,
Yeah, we don't want him to be, yeah,
yeah, I think this looks fine. What, so let's go back to game and look at it. So,
put the GTO in any.
do you want to
Now-
give him some, okay,
Yeah, we just, because we're just working around. We're
Alright,
not
he's gonna-
looking at specific spots so much as we're looking at taking what we know and going, how does it apply to 200?
Okay,
All right.
look good?
That looks good.
All right, we'll save this just in case. We'll go.
All right, and it is Mike, you get this one.
Okay, so what did we have here? We had under the gun raise and big blind, no, under the gun raise, big button call, and we see a flop.
Mhm.
All right, I'm gonna be checking. I think this is a check range spot here. Good. I liked your learning mode, however that was, Larry. We'll look at that next. So
Sure.
continue. If we face a bet, we're just gonna fold.
so learning mode, you see the, light bulb on the upper right-hand corner? Click on that. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
And it should hide it before you make the choice.
All right, Bogdan. So it wasn't a check range board. Oh, no, that's the next step. Okay, we're at the turn already.
Oh,
Okay.
was it a check range? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, is that, is there a beat where we can just click the button there, or do we have to?
Is that right, Larry?
Let's see. Can we go
So
back?
I
One
think-
more, you're on buttons. Back one more, you're on button.
and then play from here.
Well, there, it shows us this check range, right?
Okay, yeah, that's
Okay.
it, yeah.
Right, that's what we want to know. It's a check range. Okay, good.
All right.
All
Next.
right. Bogdan,
Yes, I'm here.
it's yours.
Oh, lovely.
Blind versus blind, two of the bigs. That is good.
It's great. We have a set. I'm inclined to bet follows when I'm strong, but I guess the GT will check this. So let's check it. It can be in checking range.
Yep.
But also small bet, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Do you bet something? I throw him off if I raise it. What are you doing that bet with? Half pot. You have spade in your hand, you have and the other jack. Really rare. Kings, aces, queens, we'll do this. Let's call it. Just call it. 6 of clubs.
We're check raising less than I thought there. I thought if this
Mm.
SPR, we're really gonna want to go to the pot.
Same thing, bro. Same thing. Check raise, but I think I would throw it off. Okay. Oh, I only have that and all in. Okay. Let's check it. Yeah, let's check it. I'm waiting for another mistake. Sort of a vibe. Yes, he does it. There is this now. Begs a question. Let's call it. Let's just call it.
Good. A little bit more
bit of-
now.
Yep.
Yeah, a little bit of a raise.
And each, yeah, it was 10% on the flop, 15% on the turn, but still the main line. You're right, you're cruising right through the main line here.
It looks like we've got kicker. Linear kicker check raising on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although if we see
We want a better kicker
even
this
the
deep.
Yeah,
even the
that's
top kickers don't really,
Yeah,
unless they're
There's a-
suited, unless you have some suits going on.
yeah, exactly.
yeah, I
It's
mean, I
interesting
wonder if
how-
at 200 bigs, it's just this kicker is just not good enough to sack off.
do you know what I find interesting, guys? It's highly interesting that Jack 6 has a little bit of raise in there, but Jack 8 suited does not. Jack 9 suited does not. Jack 10 suited doesn't.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's incredible how
know.
it's playing. Let's see
So
the
you said
river.
call. Did you say call? Yeah. you
Yeah,
did, right?
just call. Yeah, just call it. But I was inclined to raise it, also. Problem with a spade, I don't like it, so I will jam this now. I'll go all in.
You want to jam?
Mm. Even though I guess the GTO is gonna check it still,
Yeah, GTO's, I mean, play it,
but I'll
but
jam
it's
it
your
now.
hand, you get to play it.
Oh, wait a bit.
You're
wait a bit,
jamming,
wait a
you're
bit.
basically, you're turning it into a bluff, right? You're trying to bluff
Kind
with
of,
an
yeah,
upper.
yeah, exactly. I want to represent
boy.
the flash now. Not just the set. But I'm strong enough to do so,
Well, we
And I
do
knew
have
that,
leads, it looks like, but the leads are always a
Tiny.
blocker sizing. And yeah, I mean, the problem with this is that it's very hard for him to have any hands that are gonna
I'm-
call you that are worse.
I knew he's
mean-
gonna check it, The GTO is gonna check it, I knew that. But personally I would just jam it. Thing
Okay.
is, I'm curious what's it doing now after the jam.
Well, I mean, so the way to think about it is when you make this sizing, which is 783% pot. It's very hard to get called by worse. I
He's
mean,
not
some
trying to
people
get
might.
caught by worse. He's
No,
trying to
just-
get,
just
he's
throwing him
literally
off.
trying to get a better, he's literally trying to get Jack 8 to fold. So let's see if
Okay.
Jack,
Exactly.
Jack 9 or Jack 10 folds. He may not
Okay.
get Jack Ace to fold, but maybe he's getting he's getting the better Jacks to fold.
Alright,
I mean, we don't think that this is the best line overall.
well, you've got a high
Even his
equity
fold.
hand, right? You've got probably. Even when the spades come, probably like in the 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a value hand, and you want to extract value from him.
Right.
And he has hands that can call you that
We'll look
way.
at that if you want to look and see what happens when we do jam, but let's change it to one of the moves that won't break it here.
Okay, go for the
finish.
check. Check. Let's check it. Let's check
check.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
let's check it. It was the other idea.
And just see if he bluff and
Basically.
he bets at it now.
Yeah, exactly. And now, bang.
Okay, now you got a
And now I'm jamming it.
300%.
Now I'm definitely jamming this.
Now you want to jam?
Yeah, I want it. Do you fold it? Let's
It's
see.
in there.
It's in there, yeah. Let's see. Do you fold this shit now? Bang, call. Wait. Oh
Where the
my
flop?
fucking god.
He flopped
Come the
full.
fuck on.
He flopped full. All right, let's see what he jams. Let's see what he folds to Bogdan's initial. Just jam the turn. Just jam the river.
Okay, Larry, how do we get to that point? Where do I go to? Is it
So-
study the spot right here?
Yeah, you'd have to go to study spot. You might only, depending on your membership, you might only have one time.
Well, this will be the one.
So we arrived on the river and we wanted to jam, right?
Yeah.
Jam it.
See what
Bang.
happens.
Right. It
So-
doesn't exist in the strategy, but let's see how he responds.
Oh, yeah, this is really not gonna be, I don't think we can trust this.
Okay.
That's why, I mean, this is not a line that's taken in the solver.
Yep.
And because of that, it's not solved, right? So
Okay.
and that's why it looks so kind of goofy where it has like
All right. We tried.
all these mixed frequencies across all these hands like 74, like really,
Okay.
it's just not solved.
Why
All right.
does 8 unsuited call it? Besides
It
the
doesn't.
spades, the
It
obvious
doesn't.
spades.
It's,
I would say just ignore it, because it's essentially what happened, well,
we'll roll
Not
over the
good.
8-10 and see and we'll see that it's what it's doing.
I mean, you can see it's folding everything but the even better flushes are folding. Even nut flushes are folding.
So it's a good move. Go for
Even-
it sometime.
Even some full houses are folding.
Check this shit out. The trees.
The Jack 7
Mm.
folds a tiny bit.
Yeah, crazy.
If you make this move and you get pocket threes to fold, oh my.
Oh my
Alright.
god. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest with you guys. I thought I'm gonna see some suited hands like an ace
Yeah.
king suited of hearts or
Yeah.
even the flush, the spade. I was afraid of it a little bit. I wasn't expecting threes. Crazy. Thank you.
All right. Next hand is Richie.
Richie, you there?
No, if you skip me, I'll oh, do you know what? I've got time for one. I've got time
Okay.
for one before I
Take it.
head off. Go for it. Let's go.
Okay, here you go.
Stack him.
Stack him before I go. I'm gonna rage quit this table. I'm gonna get stacked. I'm gonna check it. Wait. Where am I? Big blind. Yeah, no, I'm checking this.
Very good. Know that.
Oh,
Ooh, they
Ooh,
check back.
interesting check.
Oh, could we ever lead this? Do we ever lead this? Do you know what? I'm going to attempt to lead. I don't know if you're allowed to, but I'm going to because both kings and aces are in big blind. They've checked back. Yeah, they could have the ace, but I'm going to lead this. I'm going to go for 50%, 2.75.
My gut tells me there's be some very large bets from you here, but yeah, I don't know if it applies to 200 big blinds, but if this was 100 big blinds, I think you get really big bets. But
No, check. Cool.
okay.
It'd be
yeah, what you
interesting
do
to
with
see
that-
if
what
it
you do
does
with
change
range.
anything.
Look at it.
Yeah.
When you bet this, you bet what's the size there? What is that purple size?
That would be B75s.
Okay, so you're B75.
That purple is B75s.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Because obviously, ace king, which is complete nuts, we don't have because we'd have raised. I understand that, but I'm just playing purely the ace here, and that they wouldn't have checked back trips. I know we don't have the nuts, but I'm just playing that we might be able to steal this with a potentially draw in /
Right.
ace hand low, right? But I'm not surprised to see that we just check it back here anyway. But yeah, should we change it to a check then? Yeah.
Yep.
And it's probably going to be if they do bet, we just fold.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just fold now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. After Richie is A plus.
I'm going to just be watching passively now, and then probably
Okay.
drop off in a little bit. Have fun all. Thank you.
All right. See you, man. Click the button for Mr. A plus.
Is A plus ready?
Oh, yeah. Yep, he's here. He's ready.
Okay.
You live right, my friend.
That's a small bet, 33.
I think we get some big bets here. Just 50, no, just 50.
Mm.
Good choice.
Ace of spades. So let's see, 4, 5, 6. This is interesting. Am I re-raising here or just maybe I'm just calling here? Yeah, I'm just calling.
Good choice.
I'm going to check to him.
All right, he checked to you.
Oh, he checked to me. Okay, now I'm in position. And now Jack, he raises 6, 2, 4, 5. He had me 4, yeah, 4, 5. So he checking me 4. Do I check back here or do I bet medium? I'm going to check back here.
So GTO.
And then the king, I have the ace of spades. I'm blocking all of his ace flush draws. So maybe would have raised with. Does that mean I bet small here? Because I have the ace of spades? Probably so. So let's bet small and see what happens. It's probably a check. But I'm just gonna throw a little small bet out there.
I think it's gonna
How
be
small?
but go for the small bet because it's one you committed to.
How small A plus?
Oh,
This could be a big. Let's say 11. I'm gonna bet 11. I'm gonna bet. That's gonna be wrong, but I'm gonna bet. Oh, it was right. Okay.
Dead on.
Yeah.
10-9, the check raise. Just the no equity check raise bluff.
Yep. All right.
Well
After
played.
A plus is Tura. And if Tura is busy, he won't come in. If he comes in, If he comes in a second, he doesn't. All right, it's jack.
I will
Jack.
check.
Children, children, what do you see? We see a brown bear, a red bird.
I think we're giving up. I think we just fold.
Mhm,
I'm with you. Yep.
Gotta fold. All right, Turtle's got the next one.
Tura, ready?
Ready.
Ooh, a rare under the gun hijack cold call.
I'm gonna start with a small bet.
Yeah, we see this a lot, I think, at this stack depth. We're very defensive sometimes.
Now on the turn, I want to overbet.
Yay. Right or wrong, I say yay.
I think we're gonna check a lot.
How much of an overbet, Tura?
Let's make it 125. Okay. Then let's check if it's not in there.
So if it's
Okay.
not there, you get to go 8.1 because it's the closest one to it. So you're gonna stay with the line that you took.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm, now I want to check call.
Yeah, that is a bad card.
Okay,
Hmm,
well
okay,
played.
all right, we did jack. It is Derek.
Oh,
Hey, Dad.
wow. I'm just amazed that no overcards came.
Yeah,
This is like a dream flop that isn't quads.
yeah.
So, we're gonna bet. We're gonna bet, I'm totally fine with 125.
Right. So I think it's not gonna do that because there is a straight on the board.
Oh,
Right, you didn't break the solver.
Yeah, so you get to go forward with it.
Okay, you got the protection.
You got the protection, but you also didn't get to your set when he would have gotten a straight draw. So
But here's the options that it preferred. Was the smaller sizing.
mhm.
I was better. So I chose one of the worst, okay.
But again, look at the difference in EV.
Yeah.
It-
Not that much, is it?
Yeah, it is not great, but it's 2 big blinds per 100 worse than the optimal.
And the thing to remember is they're still capped. They're under the gun range here. I'm imagining that they're checking range on this flop. I think we can see that somewhere, right? I think we can see, yeah,
Yeah.
checking this hand, checking 99%. I don't know if there's a way to see the full range or not. Where do we get to see that?
Let's see if you go.
What are you looking for?
Looking for their range on the flop. Like I want to see the
I would go to like the jack hand that you opened, like that trainer tab you have open to the right. Already, I'd go to that one, yeah, and then I just reset it and then just see what, yeah. What's their floating range look like? So it's pretty tight. You know,
there. Okay, and then we got the
What did we just look at there?
8-4 of spades, 7 of hearts.
Jack, we were looking at their plotting range and hijack versus a UTG open.
All right,
Okay.
there we go. It's good to look at it
Can't,
that way. All right, that's
can't
fine.
study it.
No,
So,
we have to just learn it without
So-
studying.
so I bet too much there. I should have bet just a third because
Because the board has a straight on it that he can have. He can raise, he can open 5-6.
okay.
And so when you bet, the bigger you bet, the more you get his hands to fold that you have beat, and you get crushed by the hands that beat you.
So I don't need to worry about him hitting one of his overcards as much as him opening myself up to a world of
Yes.
hurt when he has 5-6. Is
Yeah,
that what-
solver doesn't use protection betting that much. I mean, humans do, but solver doesn't. I'm not saying it's right or wrong because solver doesn't use it and humans do. But it generally does not. It's not so concerned about getting sucked out.
Mm,
And you're also betting into a range that's uncapped because we weren't able to see it, but I
That's a
pretty
very good point.
guarantee that the under the gun range there is going to check range.
That's a-
And you're betting into a range that contains aces, kings, queens, jacks, tens, eights, sevens, fours, and 5-6,
And,
and 7-8.
right, and even if he doesn't check range, every hand in his range checks.
Yeah, so yeah, he's got
So he
an
may bet
uncapped
some
range.
of his, he may bet some of his pocket tens there, but he didn't bet them all. All right,
mm, okay.
next after Derek is me. And I have the 9-9, but now I have it out of position.
Oh,
So
this
this, so now we're gonna see if we check range. I am gonna check range because Mike said to.
Slightly different board, but
Yep, but it's checking range. I mean, it, yeah. So we check range. He bets, and this is an easy call for me. Good.
Notice no check raises at this deck depth.
All right, this is terrible. I check. Out of spite. A spite check. He checks behind. I like his checking behind. I have the 9 of hearts. Therefore, I can turn it into a bluff. Do I want to? No. Check. It's too strong to turn into a bluff. How big is he? All right. Yeah, he has a screw that. All right.
well played.
So what? It's Larry.
All right.
Oh, hold on.
Right, Larry. The cutoff got
so-
flattened to the button.
Fire the button. As we know, this in theory is the most frequently checked spot in poker. And I think I'm gonna check. Look at that. So we were looking at these before. We do check a bit more to step there. I don't know if this queen high flop will beat that at arbitrary. But I think, yeah, we see this a very defensive. Okay, so we like that. We're gonna, he's capped somewhat. I don't think we necessarily need to use big bets here. But I wonder if this SPR does make us big bets. Let's go small bet. I might get big bets at this SPR though.
Okay, so small meaning B33.
Yeah, sorry, B32. Yeah, we get big bets here.
Yeah, all the way
Let's
up
take
to.
let's take the big bet line.
And do you want the overbet line?
Let's do a B75.
Okay.
Doesn't work. Yeah.
Okay.
So before we get to the next person, who is Mike, I want to give a short speech here. So we are doing a lot of checking out of position. in a lot of these situations. 200 big blinds deep, we also see it 100 big blinds deep. It's not always, but you know, if you default to checking out of position, you're not way off, right? But we see a lot of people who announce it. They say check dark. It's the Phil Hellmuth thing. And I
Yeah.
believe it is a mistake.
Yeah.
We all
Why are
agree?
you giving lessons at
Yeah,
the table?
because you're checking. It's not always a check range flop. It often is, like you're saying. However, there are flops where checking range would be. I don't know. I can't think. Honestly, I can't think of anything that would make a mistake. Like your highest c-bet type boards are like king 6. Like the double paired or the paired flops are c-bet still relatively frequently.
Do you think there's a strategic reasoning behind checking dark?
Yes, and I think it's a mistake.
What is the thought process that wants that?
Strategic reasoning is that I am telling you that you get no information from my check, and I now have position on you. You have the ability to keep me from betting by checking behind, but I have position because I have given you no information about my hand. That's what he's
Gotcha.
doing. And I think that's a mistake because I think because let's say a board comes out and it is a check range board. By telling you I'm checking range in advance, that I'm checking dark, you can't make the mistake that you could make when I check and you go, oh, he would have bet here. So against a studied player who knows your game and knows exactly what you know, meaning you know this is a check range board, therefore you check, therefore I have no information, then checking
Yeah.
dark gives no additional information. But
I
against
see.
every other player, you have told them, do not make the wrong conclusion from my check. And I think I want them to make the wrong conclusion from my check. Why don't I want to have them make the mistake of thinking my check means something when it doesn't, compared to you can get no information from my check because I've given up my ability to bet. And I think it's a mistake for that.
Yeah. I think, yeah, you got a good point.
And Hellmuth, who's doing it against weaker players, and he's a very strong player, I still think it's a mistake. And that's a pretty big swing for me because we're way in exploitable land here. So it's not in the solver. I think it's a mistake from Hellmuth too. I think he should check range
Yeah.
if he wants to all the time and just not tell people why. All right.
Yeah,
that's my
you have a good point.
All
One
right.
of the worst books that I read was this Phil Hellmuth book. Holy
Oh, the one about eagles and
yeah,
turkey,
yeah. I think that
elephants,
screwed me.
and small rodents.
Who's next?
If his idea was to make people play worse, then he succeeded.
Yeah. Okay. So that was Mike. It's on you, Mike. It's yours.
Okay. All right, here we go. See if I get it. Give me a good one. It's not so great. At least I have position. So we would get to bet this at a decent clip, but he's checking range, and this hand. Do we get to bet the diamond version of this? I think we can still check and not be wrong. So I'm gonna check. Oh God, look at how much we bet it.
Well, we're
Yeah,
betting
it's-
range, it looks like.
Look at this
Yeah.
betting pattern here. The board is just so good for our calling range.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so bad for his opening range.
I wonder if we have
Um,
nut advantage too here.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You can click on range. You can click on range, and it'll show us. I think we'll get that. I think in the learning mode, without going to the hat.
Yeah, so if you click on the actual chart, it's gonna give you the, and then, yeah, expand. There you go.
Oh, look at that.
And then you can click on range here, where it says strategy to the right of that, where it says range.
Yep.
So
there you
we
go.
have clear range advantage.
And nut advantage, both. Not a
Yeah.
huge nut advantage, but we have it.
You could change that, yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we
significant
have
nut
both range
advantage,
and nut advantage.
equity
So-
advantage.
We're in position, so we're betting small and frequently.
All right, I'll stick with check, just because that's probably what I would have done. And yeah, I
here's
think
the
I'm just
card.
going to continue to check here. I think we have to once we've taken that first check line.
Yeah, and with that
Can't think
card.
of many worse cards.
And value, He's checked to this point. Can we reopen?
Hell
I think
yeah.
that would be, I think that would be pretty darn risky.
Yeah, I
I'd
don't
try
know.
to get, I would definitely get value if this was against population. I would bet. However,
Okay.
versus a solver, it feels really thin.
Like, I was doing the
So I'm
idea
going to
that
check just to
I
see
always
what
go
happens.
for
just to
value.
see.
I always go for thin value
Yeah.
here.
Nice check, man. I would
Against
have,
population.
I would have thought solver would have valued that hand.
Yeah, I
But I
just think
think- I
against the
think-
solver, I think against population, we get value from worse a lot of the time. Whereas
Yeah, his
we're
checking
just,
range is protected enough. This just isn't good enough.
yeah.
I do a lot of bet folding on the river.
I
if the
think this is
guy
a good hand to bet. I think this is a
jams
good
over
hand
me.
to bet small and fold to a check raise.
Yeah.
I think that I like it.
Well, don't tell
Claude
him.
Hansen talks a lot about thin value betting, like find the thin value bets, but then overfold to any kind of check raise or raise.
Exactly. All right, Bogdan, you're up.
I would always bet fold there.
Yeah.
It's a classic bet fold situation, I think.
I'm
I'm
here,
with you.
guys.
Okay, Bogdan, here we go. Here's your
And
hand.
even and just
Let's
before Bogdan hits
see.
this card.
Oh,
There we go. Well, we still got 10 in. And even if he check calls you with an ace there that he was unwilling to bet because of the flush draw there, I'm okay with that too. You're betting small. All right.
Just marginal. Fuck you, GTO
Right.
wizard.
So those are ours. I can't burn my 200s because I have to leave in 10 minutes. So, why don't we go to, do you want to do Mark hands now?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that.